Welcome back, everyone, to the Breath and Posture channel. My name is Bree, and today we're going to explore something that I find deeply fascinating, both scientifically and spiritually. It's called the Default Mode Network, or DMN for short. And it's a network in the brain that essentially lights up when we're not focused or feeling scattered. For example, daydreaming or kind of locked in the past or imagining the future or just kind of obsessively thinking about ourselves. So, in many ways, this network is where the story of us lives. It's home to that inner narrator. And we kind of hear it in ways of, gosh, I need to do better, or, oh, that person shouldn't have said that, or what if this doesn't work out? Just that constant monkey mind chatter. It's essentially how the brain keeps our identity intact. And through our lenses of past, present, future, and experiences, it helps us navigate our lives. However, when the default mode network becomes overactive, it starts to become the source of stress and anxiety and depression, ultimately leaving us with this feeling that we're disconnected, rather than letting us feel that expansive field of life that we are actually a part of. What's really incredible is that through certain practices like meditation, movement, even being present, we can work with ourselves to quiet this network down. And when we do, this sense of me versus the world starts to dissolve immediately. You get to experience life not from that perspective of I'm a separate self, but through this awareness that is present beneath it, this awareness that's just always right here for us. So today we'll explore how to do that. And at the end of this episode, I will guide us through a short, simple practice for you to experience at any point. So even if you've listened to this episode again, you're welcome to use the chapters below and just navigate right to the end to dive into that short, simple meditation. So let's begin. Let's first start off by understanding the default mode network. Well, in neuroscience, the DMN refers to a brain region. Mainly the medial prefrontal cortex is where it is housed. And it's activated when you're in that scattered space, when you're not focused on a specific task or being present to the moment that you're in. So think of it as your brain is in this like idle mode. It's in this autopilot. So when you're washing the dishes and you suddenly think about something that you said a couple hours ago, and your mind just starts going into the story of it and analyzing it, maybe feeling embarrassment or getting kind of angry from whatever that moment held. This is the DMN at work. It is activated and it's on full force. The unfortunate thing, once it's activated, is that it just starts looping. It starts looping over and over through past, through future, whatever you get stuck in. It feels like it's on replay. And it's where we form that sense of self. So who we think we are, what we like, what we don't like, what happened to us. And it can be useful, you guys. This is not to say that it doesn't have a purpose. It definitely gives us this continuity. But what happens is that it keeps us trapped in these mental stories, creating this constant illusion that we're somehow separate from everything else. So what's really fascinating is that the modern brain imaging in science has shown that long-term meditators, people who really plug themselves in to deeper states of concentrated meditation, or those of us who enjoy the deeper states of prayer. We can also relate it to athletes. When they are in the zone, it's almost like a flow state. It shows with our modern brain imaging that it actually reduces the DMN activity. And what's left is presence and a clear, open awareness. If we want to go a little deeper in spiritual concepts, there are practices like yoga, Tai Chi, that through movement allows you to become this quiet, open vessel to then sit down and meditate or pray, using our bodies to essentially clear out the clutter in order to pray or meditate. It cleans our vessel. We are then receptive to source. We are receptive to the environment around us. We are 100% in it. And studies constantly measure this with athletic performance enhancement. So in many ways, our spiritual traditions or meditative practices, or even movement practices, as I keep mentioning, like yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, where we're training the brain long before science even had words for it, in order to quiet the activity of the DMN network. So let's move into how to quiet this network that some days completely controls us. So there's several ways to do this, and they tend to revolve around this shifting of attention. We have to shift from that inner narrator that is on repeat and direct our awareness into a more present, embodied space. So here's a few examples. Focused attention. Meditation is a fantastic example of what it means to quiet everything down and be 100% immersed in concentrated effort. We use, like when I teach, we always tend to start with the breath as that bridge between the physical and the mental fixation of watching your breath. It's almost beautiful how the breath can serve as this tool that is always happening, whether we're aware of it or not. But when our mind, our attention, slows down to focus on our breath, it acts as the bridge to take us into this quiet, internal space. So essentially you pick a focus, whether it's your breath. In some meditative practices, you're looking at a candle flame or listening to a sound. Some people like mantras or the sound of Om. And also you have prayer beads to feel with your senses each bead that brings your mind into that attentive space from sensory, physical, directly into the inward. And each time your mind wanders, you guys, you gently return back to it. I used to follow a monk that gave a lot of discourses. He was a Buddhist monk, and he always said, "What is your object of attention?" Completely acknowledging the monkey mind, how easily we're distracted, how easily we're inundated with desire and wants and over analytical thinking. So, what is our object of attention that we can use to bring us right back to that space? So, that's one example of how to quiet the DMN. Another example is open monitoring or just being mindful. So, here in this example, you're not necessarily focusing on just one thing, but the opposite. You're observing everything. Your thoughts, your emotions, even your body sensations. And you're watching it as if it's just passing clouds. As if you're looking out your window and just watching the weather. What happens in this example, if you use this as a tool to quiet the DMN, it's like you stop identifying with the endless thought stream. And instead, you rest as the space in which all things arise and dissolve. So the DMN thrives on identification. It almost is like a ping pong match where this happens, so this is going to happen, and this happens, and this is going to happen, back and forth and back and forth. So when you no longer chase each thought, it loses its fuel. Another example, like I keep bringing up in these episodes, are movement practices. And this is a tool for all of us. However, I'm also broadening this podcast to bring it to any single one of us that does whatever our activities are, whether it's golf, tennis, whether we like to draw or paint or read or write, or just get honed in on our professions, whether we're parents. I try to broaden these ideas, but movement practice could be yoga, qigong, tai chi. I experience it in martial arts, and that's kind of my addiction and thriving in the martial arts space. But even just mindful walking. Back to several of my episodes. Can you feel your steps, your feet? How is my posture, my breath? How is my peripheral awareness? So when the body moves in rhythm or mindfully, the mind synchronizes with it immediately as if it's craving that connection to be rooted again into presence and get out of that monkey mind. What happens when we use movement practices as a tool to quiet the DMN is that you stop thinking about being alive and instead you become the experiencer. You watch yourself just as much as you feel yourself. And this grounds you into direct present experience, where the DMN network cannot dominate or overwrite that. Also, another example that, of course, I feel is important to touch on is when we are immersed in nature. Some of us go camping, hikes, even just walk on the grass with our bare feet, touch our toes into a river, whatever we can pull from that gives us that feeling of nature. We feel revitalized. So studies show that time in natural environments actually reduce the DMN activity. When we look at a horizon, or we touch the ground, or we listen to the wind and the trees. I mean, I live around a lot of pine trees, so wow, the sound of nothing else but the breeze going through pine needles. It starts to allow you a broader awareness that expands beyond the story of the self. Nature reminds us of truth, that we are a part of something vast and highly intelligent. And for some reason, this alone, as a tool to quiet this part of our brain, it puts us in our place. Have you ever been near a giant mountain or an expansive landscape where you just have that stomach-dropping sensation of, wow, I am small, yet I feel completely a part of this? Nature is a fantastic tool to quiet our minds and return us into a space of humility, truth, and total presence. So now I'd like to enter into a 5-minute guided meditation to conclude this episode and this talk today. So let's take a few minutes to experience this quieting together. Now, if you can find a comfortable seat, great. If you'd like to stand, make sure your feet are a little wider than hip width apart so that you can give your spine the relaxation downward. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Let your breathing find its own natural rhythm. Keep doing this. Through your nose and exhale. Just let it out through your mouth. Feel your body completely supported beneath you. Feel your feet, your legs, your seat, grounded, stable, and here. As you breathe in, sense the energy of being alive as it enters into your body through your breath. As you breathe out, feel the tension. Anything that's just holding on to you melt away. Now let's slow the breath with more control as we inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 6. Now slowly bring your attention inward. Observe any thoughts, if any, moving through your mind, but see them as clouds, just drifting across the sky. Just watch them pass. Keep tuning in to the rhythm of your breath, as if your whole body is breathing. No effort. Now go ahead and expand your awareness. Feel the space around your body, the air touching your skin, the quiet stillness that holds everything right this moment. Realize that there's no need to change anything. You are simply aware of your breath, your body, and the space around you. See if you can stay in this place, this resting awareness. Now, as we close, bring your attention back to your breath. Feel your chest rise and fall. Feel your body grounded, completely present and alive. Know that this quiet place is always here for you, beneath your thoughts, beneath the story of yourself. Go ahead and invite a nice big inhale, you guys. Expand your lungs and then just release it